All right, welcome guys. We are going over the Unit 1 review sheet for the quiz. So if we take a look at the first question here, identify the point of concurrency. We want to make sure we focus in on the lines being drawn here that are forming that point of concurrency. So here we have the lines. They're not perpendicular. They are cutting the sides in half at these points. These are the midpoints of the segment. So these lines actually represent the medians. And remember, medians, centroid, right? Medians, metroid, and that comes from the centroid, okay? The next set of lines you can see are drawn are going through the line here in the middle. So they're going through here in the middle, okay? We can see it's bisecting and it's got the right angle mark, so these are perpendicular bisectors. Remember the saying, it's peanut butter and cheese, so PBC, and the C stands for circumference. All right, these last lines, this is one we didn't do the other day. So these lines are representing the height of the triangle or the altitudes. And the altitudes create the orthocenter. And the last one, okay, is the angle bisectors. And the angle bisectors are going to meet to form the incenter. All right, the angle bisectors insert. That's the A bend there. And this is the AO, which is the altitudes and orthocenter. So we want to draw a picture for each of these guys here. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to take a look at some that are kind of similar. So for the first one, perpendicular bisector, okay, we're going to start by making a segment for ourselves. The same thing with midpoint and the same thing with perpendicular. We just want to make a segment, all right? And technically a line segment, so we're going to throw some endpoints on the end here, okay? Now, the difference between perpendicular and bisector is the word bisect, which means cut in half. So what we want to do here, okay, is we want to draw a line that's going to go right down the middle of our segment, okay? So it can't be anywhere in the line. It has to be right in the middle, okay? And it has to be perpendicular to that segment we have already, which means that these two pieces here, all right, are equal. So one thing we want to do is perpendicular. We have to draw a 90-degree angle, okay? And that is way too big. Perpendicular, 90-degree angle, okay? And it cuts this segment in half. So it's located at the midpoint, perpendicular bisector. For midpoint, we're going to put a point in the middle, okay? Point in the middle, all right? And then we're going to mark that each of the segments on both sides of the middle point, the midpoint here, are equal. So line here, line there. For perpendicular, we're going to take and draw a line, right? This one does not have to go through the middle. Okay, that's important. It can go anywhere it wants. It can be over here, it can be over here, it could be in the middle, but we don't know for sure. All I know is when I draw it in, it's going to create a 90-degree angle. We're going to mark it with a box. That's perpendicular. Okay? For median and altitude, all right, I'm going to draw myself a triangle for these ones, okay? So I'm going to draw myself a triangle for these two, okay? Doesn't really matter which one. Well, you know what? I'm going to draw a different one here. So, all right. Okay, the median is going to be to a line segment that's drawn from the vertex that cuts the other side in half. So what I want to do is basically locate the midpoint, okay, first, and I'm going to mark that it's the midpoint by indicating that these two segments are equal, and then I'm going to draw a line that connects. That is a terrible line. I'm going to draw a line that connects the vertex here, okay, to the line right across. That's the median. The altitude is a line that gets drawn from the vertex and goes straight across to the other side. When this line hits this side, okay, it is going to create a 90-degree angle right there. That's what an altitude is. It's the height of the triangle. So when you think altitude, all right, I want you to think height of the triangle. For an angle bisector, we're just going to draw an angle, okay, and we're going to draw a line that cuts through the center of the angle. Now, in order to be a bisector, we have to label that these two new angles are equal. cuts it in half. All right. For an isosceles triangle, we're just going to draw ourselves a triangle here where it looks like two of the sides are the same. And for equilateral, we want to draw ourselves a triangle where all the sides are the same, okay? So here, we're going to mark boom, boom for isosceles. All right. And for equilateral, all three sides. Okay? All right, first one, construct an equilateral triangle. So for equilateral triangle, we're going to draw two circles around the endpoints. The important thing is that the circles have to have a radius that's equal to the length of the line. If you choose anything smaller, it's going to be isosceles, not equilateral. So compass point goes on one of the points. All right, endpoints, pencil on the other. Switch it. Okay, and then draw two arcs or two circles. You can see that one's actually off. This needs to get backed up a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then where they meet right here, all right, we're just going to draw a line segment and connect them. And there you go. All right, so that is it. That is an equilateral triangle. All right, next page. Construct the perpendicular bisector of the segment. So grab our compass. Perpendicular bisector is another word for that we've been using is football. Okay, we're going to make a football. So I'm going to place my compass point on the end point. I'm going to open up my compass so it's more than halfway of the line. Where we think the midway of the point of the line is, we're going to go more than a half. We're going to make a circle or a half circle or an arc. We're going to switch to the other end point, so sharp point on the other end point. We're going to draw the exact same, another circle with the same radius. And then we're going to right down the middle, right? We're going to draw a line. Okay? That line needs to go through the intersection of the two circles. All right. And there you go, perpendicular bisector. Construct a line perpendicular to the line that goes through the point. Okay? So the first step for both of these is the same thing. Draw a circle around the point. So I take my sharp point, put it on I, okay? And I'm going to draw a circle that goes around the point. So, yeah, we'll go that one. Circle around the point. Okay, so now what I have is I have these two intersection points, okay? Located right here and right here. Now what I need to do is do a football between those 2 points. So, sharp point is going to go on the end point of the circle here, and the ray. Okay, I'm going to open up my compass so that it's more than half, so past I, and I'm going to draw my half circle. Switch it up to the other intersection point, half circle, whoa, half circle, and then we would just draw the perpendicular bisector, which is the line that goes straight down in between. It should go through the circles, through I, and there we go. Same concept here. Draw a circle around the point that intersects the ray twice, line segment twice. Okay, so I'm going to open my compass, make sure that it's longer than the line, okay, and then I'm going to draw a circle. This circle should intersect that line twice. That's not what we want. There we go. Okay, it intersects, you can see right here and right here. Now we do the football between those 2 points. Okay, so compass right there. If you don't change your compass length, it will go right through C. But technically, you just need it to be more than half. So more than half this way. Okay, more than half this way. And then we're going to do a line through C. Should go right through the center of the circles. Good to go. All right, angle bisector. So all we're going to do is draw a circle around the angle. Okay, and then where the circle intersects the angle, we're going to do the football, okay, or the arc. So we can see there's a point right here and a point right here. We're going to do football between those 2 points. Football between these 2 points right here. Okay, so Compass on the intersection point. Open it up so it's more than halfway the distance between the 2 points. And we're going to draw ourselves 2 half circles or 2 arcs. All right. Draw a line through the intersection of the circles. It should go right through the vertex of the angle, and that line represents our angle bisector. All right. So same thing. Take your compass, open it up more than half. Okay. Switch it. All right. And then line down the middle. Okay. Copy each angle. So first thing we're going to do, draw ourselves a ray off to the side. This is going to be one of the new sides of my angle. Okay. What I'm going to do then is the first step like I did in the last one. I'm going to draw a circle that intersects both sides of the angle. And then I'm going to draw a circle around the endpoint. Okay. So circle cuts through both. Circle around the endpoint. It's basically the same arc. We just want to make sure that this arc is longer than that one. Okay. All right. Now, from where the circle intersects the ray, you can see there's 2 points. Boom and boom right there. We're going to draw or measure the width of that angle. Okay. So I'm going to come sharp point on the intersection point, pencil on the other. Okay. And I'm going to draw, you can almost basically draw a small arc here for yourself. Right there is where that's the width of the angle. That's how wide it is. So now I'm going to move the compass over, place it at the intersection point here, and I'm going to draw the same circle or same arc here, okay? All right. And right where this ray goes through that intersection, I need to make a ray that goes through that intersection. So ruler, right, from the endpoint of the ray, we're going to draw the rest of our angle. And we do the same thing. So sharp point on the angle. Draw a circle that cuts through twice. Draw a ray on the endpoint. Same circle. Okay? From the intersection points of the circle and the angle, measure the width. Okay? And you can essentially just mark a point right there. That's where we're going. Okay? Slide the compass over to the intersection point of the circle and the ray. We're going to mark off the intersection. And where the 2 circles intersect, we're going to draw our second ray. And there we go. Copy the angle. All right. Number 8, perpendicular through A. This is essentially the same thing we did as number 3. I want to draw a line perpendicular, right? And if you could, think about it. All right. What I essentially want to do is, if this line wasn't here and that line wasn't here, I just want to make a line perpendicular through A, right? So all I'm going to do is place my compass here, okay? Open up more than half, right? Draw a circle, and then do the football. That's all we're doing. So it's a triangle. We're going from A, though. So we're going to do a circle around A first. So I'm going to take my compass, place it on A, draw a circle that intersects it twice. If your circle is too big and it doesn't intersect, so for some reason it's too big, okay, and it doesn't intersect, just extend this line out with your ruler until it does intersect, and then you can do the next part. So now we're going to do the football between these 2 intersection points. So compass point on one of them, open up your pencil, compass so that it's more than half, and then we're going to do the football. Okay, so football. Now, if yours is going to go off the page, and your football is not going to intersect on the page, all right, what you might want to do is then just make your compass shorter. So like, look at, I can see I'm not intersecting down here, okay? So what I'm going to do is just go back and shrink the compass down a little bit. Change it so it's not as wide. So now the intersection point will be on the paper. So I know that that's about still longer than the middle, okay? And now the intersection occurs, see, on my paper, and I can see it. So line should go from A, all right, through, and now that line is perpendicular, right, to BC and goes through point A. Number 7, construct the midpoint of BC. To make the midpoint, we need to do the perpendicular bisector. Okay, that's the construction we're going to do. So we're going to go follow our compass. All right, sharp point on C. Open up the compass so it's more than half, and we're going to make our football. All right, so more than half. Arc above and below the middle. All right, and then where the circles cross, going to connect it with a line, and that line is actually going to find the midpoints. The midpoint, we want to label it, is a point right on the line segment where the perpendicular bisector goes through. That's the midpoint right there. Make sure you put a dot there. Make sure you label it. All right, number 8, altitude from A through BC. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. If you guys remember, okay? If this wasn't here, all right? How to make a line perpendicular from A through BC. It's the same concept, guys. All right? So all I'm going to do is take my compass, place it on A, because that's where I want the line to go through. I have to make a circle that intersects BC twice. Open the compass so it's going to cross past the line. Make sure it hits twice. If it's off, make sure we extend it. It's going through right there. And now I do my football. Okay? So take my line, my compass, open it up more than half. Okay? And then do the football. And then we do a line from A through the 2 circles. And that line is perpendicular to BC, so this is an altitude. Okay? That's it. Technically, if you want to draw the altitude, you may want to stop right there. And that would be okay to do. Okay? If you want to continue on, that's fine. But that's the altitude right there. All right, construct the bisector of angle ABC. Now, when I look at this angle, what I'm actually going to do is look at the middle letter. The middle letter is actually the angle. So when I do the bisector, I have to do angle B. So just like I did bisector before, I take my compass, I place it on the vertex, okay? And I'm going to draw a circle that intersects the angle in 2 spots. And then from each intersection point, I'm going to do the football. So open up more than half, okay? You can draw a circle, and then where those 2 circles cross, line down the middle, there's our angle bisector. Okay? Last page, median to line BC. So remember, median in the middle, we have to find the midpoint. So I have to do the perpendicular bisector first. So from BC, more than half, okay? Circle, above and below, switch it up, okay? And then we draw a line down the middle between the 2 circles. Where that point hits the intersection of the perpendicular bisector, okay? And line BC, that is the midpoint right there. Why is that pink? Right there. All right. And then all I have to do is draw a line that connects A, let's go this way, to the midpoint. And there's our median. All right. Copy angle BCA. It's just copy. Remember, middle letter. So we're copying angle C. Okay. So first step, draw ourselves a ray. Okay. Second step, draw a circle that crosses from C. That's the point we want to, the angle we want to copy. Okay. Goes through the angle twice. Draw the same circle or arc around the endpoint of the ray. Measure the width. It's that wide. So an arc. Slide down the intersection. Draw the same circle here, the same arc. Okay? And then you're going to draw a line or a ray from the endpoint through the intersection, and we've copied angle C. That's it for today. Hope you guys did all right. Make sure you study those vocab. You'll have the same type of questions again. Okay, make sure you know the words, what the diagram looks like. Okay, how to find the points of concurrency, how to do the constructions. Okay, and that's it, guys. So you'll be all right. Do your thing. See you guys later.